A rapist Baba, his multi-million-dollar Dera, and now a succession war. Who will be the next messenger of God? Will it be his adopted daughter Harpreet, or will it be his biological son Jasmeet? That question has got complicated with insinuations of incestuous relations and family troubles.
And amidst all this drama, CNN News 18's Zeba Warsi has spoken to the brave victim who had the courage to testify against a man who had everything: power, money, influence, and above all, political backing. This victim not just showed up for every single hearing and stuck to her story for the last 15 years, she also today is speaking to Network 18 about what the last decade and a half has been like. That Epicenter exclusive is playing up for you right at the top of the show.
Also on the show, the succession war within the Dera, why Ram Rahim's special relationship with his adopted daughter Harpreet has become a family fight.
And Mumbai underwater again after getting 9 times its usual rainfall. People are advised to stay at home by the government. Traffic has come to a complete standstill. First up on Epicenter this evening, the young graduate from Punjab who became a victim of Ram Rahim's lust. A man she had called pitaji raped her and other women in the Dera, 45 of them, for years. The conspiracy of silence was finally broken when this young girl detailed her ordeal in a letter to the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Bajpayee in 2002. She not just testified against Ram Rahim. For 15 years, she attended every single hearing and refused to change her testimony despite threats, despite pressures.
The Dera, in fact, got her brother killed, and yet she was undeterred in her quest for justice. Now, for the first time, she has spoken on a TV channel. This is a conversation that she had with Zeba Warsi. She requested not to be filmed. She also requested us not to disclose the location of this interview.
And extremely grateful to the judiciary. I have fought strongly all these years without fearing anyone. My family has stood by my side. This victory is not just mine, but also my family's.
In fact, now many women are coming out to narrate their horror stories of how Ram Rahim raped and molested women in his cave, a gufa, a place which was also guarded by women guards. No man was allowed to go beyond those gates inside Dera Sacha Sauda. Joining us now, Zeba Warsi, who got us that interview, and Jyoti Kamal is live from Chandigarh. Zeba, I'm coming to you first. You spoke to the victim. Does she feel, though 15 years late, justice has finally been done? Or does she think that for a rapist like him, 20 years is too less a punishment?
That's right, Marya. In fact, speaking exclusively to CNN News 18 through a close relative, the brave heart who has set the tone, the brave heart who is responsible for Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim to finally pay for what for all his sins. She did not take our question directly on whether she's happy with the verdict, specifically about the 20 years jail sentence. But yes, certainly one thing is clear, that she's extremely grateful to the judicial system. She has fought valiantly for the past 15 years, like you pointed out, attending every single court hearing. And she did say that she has fought strongly all these years without fearing this man, without any sort of fear, despite threats, despite intimidation. And she is definitely, she is now an inspiration to all the other women out there who have been suppressed and whose voices have been suppressed. Now, if I can just try and give you a sense of the family, I did speak to the family, the immediate family of the Braveheart. And speaking to her uncle, he tells me that all through her life, she has been this really brave girl. She always stood for what is right. And this is what her family has taught her and all the other children in this particular family. They come from a very educated background. In fact, the Braveheart, We're not going to disclose anything related to her identity. Currently, she is in an undisclosed safe location, being given heavy security, and her safety, of course, is of paramount significance. But the Braveheart has 2 children, both of whom are studying. If I speak about the other family members, a close cousin is a law graduate, another is a government service, is a government servant. All of them come from educated backgrounds. And the uncle of the Braveheart tells me that all these years, the entire family was also being targeted. But they stood by the girl, and they've lost another son in the family, Ranjit Singh, the elder brother who was killed. And of course, the case is sub judice, and the hearings will begin on September 16th in the CBI court. And they will not bow down. For them, the fight for justice continues, and they will continue raising voice against anything that is wrong.
Zeba Warasi getting us that exclusive interview with the victim. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. As Zeba mentioned, the lady is now married. She has 2 children, and she says it was her husband who encouraged her to fight on. The girl's parents were ardent followers of the Dera and had pushed her to become a sadhvi. They now say the man who they had considered Bhagwan has turned out to be a shaitan. Listen in.
We have always taught her to fight against any wrongdoing. We all come from educated backgrounds. We've taught our children to fearlessly stand by the truth. Due to her upbringing, she was able to fight a so-called powerful man. Our faith in the judicial system is restored. Our brother-in-law was murdered. Our fight for justice is still on.
Ram Rahim behind bars for 20 years. Who will now succeed him? Who will inherit assets worth thousands of crores and hundreds of acres of land spread across Haryana and Rajasthan? Who will be the next messenger of God? There is a bitter legacy war that's now playing out. We are getting you the list of successors.
The beast of Dera Sacha Sauda will pay for his sins for the next 20 years in jail. As he trades his flashy robes for prison khadi, the question his 6 crore followers are asking is who will succeed him and who will take charge of assets worth thousands of crores, and what happens to the hundreds of acres of land that belongs to the Dera. Leading from the front to succeed Ram Rahim is the young woman who flew with him on the helicopter to jail. Honeypreet, his adopted daughter. She calls herself Papa's angel. Originally Priyanka Taneja, she divorced her husband who had alleged that the Baba and she were sexually involved. Listen to this exchange between the two.
अगर बंदे के ऊपर वाले हिस्से को ऊपरी मंजिल कहते हैं, फर्स्ट मंजिल है ना, ये ग्राउंड फ्लोर, और ये वाली अगर होती मतलब अंडरग्राउंड तो कैसा लगता है? कैसा लगता भला?
मैं भी इमेजिन कर रही हूँ. But with her taking center stage publicly and in the Dera's film productions, Honeypreet is seen, if not as the next Dera chief, then certainly as the jailed godman's right hand. Honeypreet's challenger could be Jasmeet Singh. The 35-year-old is Ram Rahim's only son and is married to a former Congress MLA's daughter. Also in the contest for the legacy are his 2 daughters, Charanpreet Insan and Amanpreet Insan, from his wife Harjeet Kaur. And making the list a bit more complicated is Vipassana Insan, who runs the Dera's welfare schemes. The leadership of the Dera is not a direct family line. Even Ram Rahim was not related to the previous chief, and Vipassana could very well be the natural choice. So far there is silence from the family, but given what's at stake, there is every possibility that a battle of succession could break out within the Dera's first family. And we are already seeing some of that war playing out in public as well. Jyoti Kamal is joining us live this evening from Panchkula. Jyoti, thank you very much for being on the show. I mean, Baba Ram Rahim certainly is now behind bars. He's likely to stay there for some time. While a succession battle plays out, there's a good chance that he may decide, hey, I may be behind bars, but let me control my empire. There are politicians who have done it from inside jail, operating empires, orchestrating elections. Maybe Baba Ram Rahim thinks there's no need to appoint a successor. What are you hearing?
Well, Shreya, he's been in power for 27 long years. 1990 is when he took over and has enjoyed whatever fantasies that you just saw in terms of the kind of movies that he's been releasing, the kind of lifestyle that he's been leading. The gufa is his adda, and in that gufa he's been kind of playing out literally every fantasy, so to say. And now we have all these lurid details also coming out, and now that these rape charges have caught up with him, 20 years behind bars, the question is, where does all the Dera property go? Now the Dera has two kinds of properties. One is the trust property, and the second is the individual property that is owned by Ram Rahim, and the Dera authorities say they're not really sure about how much that property is. In fact, there could be several properties that are abroad also. So, but so far as at this point in time, everyone seems to be unanimous that it is too early to decide, but it seems that the Dera chief is not going to let go of his kind of control over the Dera, because he's the third Dera chief so far, and the only way that you can have a new Dera chief is if he decides to appoint someone as the next Dera chief. And at this point in time, it appears that he's not going to be doing that. He might be behind bars, he might be in jail, but at this point in time, he continues to be the commander-in-chief of Dera Sacha Sauda, even from within the jail premises. And that, it seems likely, he's not going to let go easily, because once he lets go of that kind of command over the Dera, he's a nobody. Firstly, he's behind bars. Secondly, he's gone there for 20 years at this point in time. And once he lets go of the Dera, he becomes a nobody. So it seems and it appears likely, because a lot of Dera people have told us that he's not going to let go of his authority and control over the Dera, even though he's behind bars. And that, of course, is a situation that the Dera is contending with right now.
Jyoti, stay with us. In fact, one person who is the front runner in this legacy war is Hanipreet. She has featured in all of Ram Rahim's videos and films. She is the co-director and the closest aide of Ram Rahim. Hanipreet Singh, the adopted daughter, is seen as a natural inheritor. How did Priyanka Taneja become Hanipreet? Here's her story.
Even before Hanipreet Insan was spotted in the helicopter sitting opposite Gurmeet after he was convicted for rape, she has been a familiar face among the followers of Dera Sacha Sauda. She likes to describe herself as Papa's angel, a philanthropist, director, editor and actress on social media. With more than 1 million followers on Twitter and over 5 lakh on Facebook, there's no doubt that Hanipreet has some clout. So where did the Hanipreet Gurmeet connection start? Hanipreet was born as Priyanka Taneja. It was Gurmeet who gave her the name Hanipreet when he married her and Vishwas Gupta, the grandson of former Gharonda MLA Rulia Ram Gupta, in 1999. The Gupta family has been Dera followers for decades. In the subsequent years, things started taking a sordid turn. Hanipreet came to Gurmeet complaining that the Gupta family was harassing her for dowry. Then, ostensibly to give her protection, Gurmeet adopted Hanipreet as his third daughter. Then came the big twist. Vishwas Gupta moved the Punjab and Haryana High Court seeking custody of Hanipreet Insan from Gurmeet. In his petition, Vishwas Gupta alleged that Gurmeet had illicit relations with his wife and even sexually exploited her.
मई 2011 में एक दिन मैंने बाबा जी की गुफा में रह रहा था, उनके रूम्स इकट्ठे ही होते हैं, तो मैंने उनका दरवाज़ा गलती से खुला रह गया और मैंने चेक करा तो वो दोनों न्यूड थे और सेक्स कर रहे थे।
But just as quickly as these startling allegations surfaced, they were soon pushed under the carpet. Vishwas Gupta agreed for out-of-court settlement and later apologized at the Dera, saying that he committed a mistake by questioning Gurmeet's relation with Hanipreet. He is now separated from Hanipreet and is said to be running a part of the Dera's business. In the meantime, Hanipreet rose quickly in the Dera's ranks. Where Gurmeet went, Hanipreet followed, even taking important Dera decisions. She also learnt acting and filmmaking and directed MSG, the warrior Lionheart. Gurmeet claimed Hanipreet had broken Jackie Chan's record by playing 21 different roles in another film, MSG Hindi Ka Napak Ko Jawab. One thing's for certain, there's more to this relationship than meets the eye.
Well, Papa's angel has some tough competition in Jasmeet Insan, the Baba's biological son, and already his wife's relatives are making a case for him. Listen in.
आप डेरे से दूर होने लगे, आप डेरे से दूर क्यों होने लगे थे आप?
जो डेरे में जो मैं पहले जाता था वहाँ का प्रेमी भी था, मैंने नाम भी लिया था। उसके बाद जो मुझे धीरे धीरे पता चलने लगा भी डेरे में ये कुछ हो रहा है, तो जो डेरे के सारे हालात देख के भी ये गुरु वाले जो संत में होने चाहिए तो वो मुझे दिख नहीं रहे थे वहाँ पर। तो जैसे फिल्में बनाना, जैसे बिजनेस वाली बातें करना, तो डेरे वाली कोई बात ही नहीं उसमें। 12-15 एकड़ में फैली हुई गुफा है, उसमें संत जो थे गुरमीत राम रहीम जी वो ही रहते थे, और जो साधु बीबियाँ होती थी उनको लाओ था, जो 200-250 होती थी वो जाती थी, और कोई भी नहीं जा सकता। जो इवन साधु लोग भी होते थे वो भी नहीं जाते थे।
ये क्वेश्चन बार बार आ रहा है कि डेरे की गद्दी किसको जाएगी, तो आपको इसके बारे में क्या लगता है कि डेरे की गद्दी जो है वो किसको जाएगी? क्या गुरमीत राम रहीम वो गद्दी अपनी ट्रांसफर करेंगे किसी को?
ये डेरे की परंपरा है, जब कोई साधु जो संत होता है चोला छोड़ता है तभी गद्दी, उन्होंने गद्दी नहीं छोड़नी, क्योंकि उनको पता है जब मैं गद्दी छोड़ दी तो मुझे किसी ने पूछना नहीं, तो गद्दी नहीं छोड़ेंगे। तो आगे वो फर्दर जो मुझे लग रहा है शायद कमेटी बनाए 5 मेंबरी, जहाँ हो सकता है जो हनीप्रीत है इसको काम दें।
And I'm going to take that question to Jyoti Kamal, who's joining us live. Jyoti, you spoke to the family members of Jasmeet Insan. Baba Ram Rahim has 3 biological children, 1 son and 2 daughters. Then why is Hanipreet seen as a natural choice or a natural successor to Baba Ram Rahim?
Well, talking about the successor, it doesn't seem likely that there is going to be a quick successor in this particular case, because traditionally he's the third kind of Dera head, and all Dera heads have been male. We had put this question also to the Dera: is it possible that you could have a woman as the Dera head? So they said it's absolutely unprecedented, does not seem likely, but there are no rules. The only rule that exists is if the previous Dera head decides to give up on being the Dera head, then he decides who's going to be the next Dera chief, and that's how, simply by his choice, simply by his word, the next Dera chief is appointed. So in this case, as you just heard a close relative also saying, that if the Dera chief says that I'm not going to be the Dera chief and it's going to be Hanipreet or it's going to be anybody, he immediately loses power, and that is going to be absolutely a death knell, so to say, for Gurmeet Ram Rahim. Firstly, he's behind bars. On top of it, he gives up on his being the Dera chief. So he's going to try and hold on to it, and the Dera is likely going to appoint a management kind of a committee that's just going to run the affairs of the system, because there is no procedure actually to get rid of a Dera chief. So now here is a piquant situation for the Dera Sacha Sauda, that their chief is behind bars. There is no system of removing him, because he's the only one who can remove himself, and he's not likely to do that. So the Dera also, because of all the kind of law and order violations that have taken place, already the Dera is a very fractured Dera now. It is almost a fraction of the power that it once upon a time had. So it's going to be chaotic times up ahead, but the Dera chief giving up on his kind of control over the Dera does not seem likely. So it is going to be troubled times ahead for the Dera, even as the succession war continues in terms of who holds on to what property. What is likely, of course, to happen is that the personal properties of the Dera chief are going to come into question, but other than that, he's not likely to give up on his power.
A quick question on Hanipreet Singh. She did throw a massive tantrum on the day of the sentencing. That was something that was caught on camera. You know, there have been all sorts of rumors and salacious talk about Jyoti, her relationship with her adopted father, Pitaji as she called him, the man on our screens. All the films that he has acted in, she has been besides him. All the public appearances that he has made, she has been around. She's also, I believe, made some rather bizarre claims about, you know, about the fact to a local daily, I believe, about the fact that there was political backing that the Dera had, and they had a deal with a particular political party, and the particular political party actually backed out. The deal was that there would be no sentencing if Baba gave them their political support. Are you hearing anything on that account, or is that all just rumor?
Well, we have heard a lot of these statements come out, but yes, the Dera did believe that it had a lot of clout, and they did believe that that clout made the Dera chief invincible, and perhaps that was one of the reasons that the Dera chief turned up at the court on that particular day. And when we spoke with the government authorities, actually they said that behind the scenes, the government also played along, saying that there is a likelihood that he might get away, because they wanted to make sure that he turns up for that hearing, because if he had not turned up and stayed back at the Dera, then eventually the courts would have ordered that he has to be physically removed from the Dera. If there could be serious violence in a small ashram like Satlok near Hisar, then the authorities were worried what could happen in Sirsa. So in that sense, all of this was being done, and yes, there was this feeling of invincibility in Hanipreet Kaur also. She threw a tantrum, not just here, she threw a tantrum even at Rohtak when she went to the jail. She said she's an acupressure specialist and she's going to spend the night with the Dera chief. chief. All of that happened there. But nonetheless, at this point in time, there is a discord even between Hanipreet Kaur and the family of the Dera chief, his biological family, because they still consider Hanipreet an outsider. It is just because of her proximity to the Dera chief that they were tolerating her. Now that the Dera chief is behind bars, there are going to be a lot of questions over Hanipreet also. So these are definitely troubled times, chaotic times ahead for the Dera Sacha Sauda. It's definitely not going to be the Dera Sacha Sauda that it was over the last 15 to 20 years.
All right, Jyoti Kamal, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for joining us with all those updates from Panchkula. A succession war already on, as Jyoti is pointing out. Hanipreet is someone who's not seen very favorably within the Ram Rahim's family. So let's see how that plays out. For the moment, we are slipping into a quick break on the show. Coming up next, the big story that is playing out in Mumbai this evening.
And it is possibly the worst flooding since the 2005 deluge. If you are stuck and battling the rains in Mumbai, we would like to hear from you. Call us on the number that is flashing on your screens. We are slipping into a short break. Stay with us.
July 2005, the day Mumbai stopped. 12 years on, a repeat of the mayhem. Maximum City sinks again.
Why was there no preparedness?
Mumbai's roads turn into rivers. There's no relief for the next 48 hours. Yes, the Maximum City is facing maximum mess. The city has received 9 times its usual rains. As a result, Mumbai is sinking. The government has now asked citizens not to leave their homes. Schools and colleges are shut tomorrow. Airport operations have been severely hampered. No flights were allowed to take off or land today. And the traffic, as you can imagine, is moving at a snail's pace.
And even the high tide has now kicked in. There have been multiple diversions as the bad weather led to tree falls on roads. Several areas like Hind Mata, especially suburban Mumbai, are waterlogged. Low-lying eastern suburban areas are partially submerged in water. Wadala Bridge and King's Circle is completely flooded. More rainfall is in fact expected in the next 24 hours. In 12 hours of incessant rain, neither the BMC nor the Maharashtra government has taken any cognizance in aiding the flood situation, and it clearly looks like that the Mumbaikars are heading for a long overhaul.
Our reporters since morning have spanned the entire city, getting us ground reports and pictures of how India's financial capital simply sinks if it rains beyond normal. Here's Arithro Hazra getting us our first report.
You can see, if you can see the visuals right now, the water is still knee level here. I'm here at Lower Parel. This is the place where all the corporate offices are here, and being a Tuesday, all the people from different parts of Mumbai would want to come here. And if I may ask my camera person to pan the camera a bit, it's even difficult to walk. Most of the cars here, if I may ask my camera person to show you the car right in front of us, most of the cars here are stuck. You can see that they are parked, they cannot move, and therefore there is jam here in this part of Mumbai and also in other parts of Mumbai. So certainly, as the advisory is being given by all the experts right now, that no one should try to venture out unless and until it's extremely important. Western line has gone down, which is considered to be the best line, and as you can see that heavy wind is also one of the concerns which the Mumbaikars should also make at this point of time. So certainly, as usual, whenever there is heavy rainfall, the city comes down crumbling, and we need to ask these questions to the BMC officials here right now. I am here at Lower Parel, and as you can see, the waterlogged roads here, but no one can see any BST officer or any BMC official trying to help out people, trying to de-silt the drainage system here, because the drainage system has again failed in Mumbai as usual. This is the place where most of the corporate offices are here, and as you can see that there is a car right in front of us which is also stranded. They have to face a lot of trouble right now, be it via road, be it via all the 3 railway lines. The city has crumbled again. The trains are getting delayed. Most of the roads are waterlogged. There are traffic jams in other parts of the place. Looking at the traffic situation right now, Lower Parel, on a given day, this road is full of cabs and full of vehicles. But right now, this is vacant because people have not been able to reach here till now. They should have considered to declare today as a holiday, but then again, no such announcement was made by the local authority there in Mumbai. Right now I'm in Epicentre, and as you can see the visuals, I'll just get you the visuals. You can see this particular cab just trying to get through this road. So this road is completely waterlogged. Also, most of the vehicles which are going ahead are coming back after taking a U-turn because it's not possible for them to go ahead, and therefore that's one of the reasons why people are trying to avoid this particular road. But as you can see, this looks like some kind of a tributary to a river. So certainly people they have now taken to the road. They have now started walking on the road. But as you can see, these are very strong visuals. Like no one can actually make out that this is actually a road. This actually looks like a river, and all of this because the drainage system at this particular time, after this heavy rainfall, it has completely failed. Due to waterlogging at the road which is connecting to this particular road, this ambulance which got stuck here, it was stuck here for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Now they are trying to make way for this particular ambulance. As you can see, again, only the local authorities are helping here. There is no one from the Mumbai Traffic Police or there is no one from the civic authorities.
भी लगता है कि वो कुछ काम नहीं कर रहे, बट जो पंप लगा है वो काम ही नहीं कर रहा है. वो सब अपना वर्कर निकाल रहे हैं, सब कचरा निकाल के हाथ से निकाल रहे हैं. वो पंप तो कुछ काम ही नहीं कर रहा है.
I'm still outside KEM hospital and I'll go to these people who are standing here and quickly try to get their reaction on it. Sir, आप लोग क्या इधर फंसे हैं काफी टाइम से रोड पे?
नहीं, अभी हम लोग छूट गए. केएम हॉस्पिटल में है, अभी छूट गए.
केएम हॉस्पिटल के अंदर भी पानी आने लगा है?
हाँ, ऐसा है. एक वार्ड के उधर रहेगा शायद.
नीचे का वार्ड है ना, वार्ड नंबर 1, 2 में पूरा पानी घुस गया है.
पानी घुस गया. हाँ. तो पेशेंट्स को थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है क्या वहाँ पे कि हॉस्पिटल वाले मदद कर रहे हैं?
मदद कर रहे हैं हॉस्पिटल वाले.
बट कोई हॉस्पिटल में कोई पहले से वार्निंग वगैरह दिया गया था कि पानी घुस रहा है ऐसा कोई?
ना अचानक इतना बारिश आने वाला है वो. अच्छा. फिर भी अपना केस लिया, कार्ड में पेशेंट बच्चों का वार्ड है वो. अच्छा. बच्चों का ऊपर के वार्ड में लिया है.
माहौल क्या है, क्या हालत क्या है आपकी?
अभी तो ट्रेन बंद है, बस का भी कुछ वो नहीं है, कब चालू होगा, क्या है क्या नहीं है.
तो अभी क्या प्लान क्या है, कैसे निकलेंगे, कुछ सोचा है?
बारिश रुके, पानी हटे, फिर उसके बाद कुछ देखा जाएगा. अभी क्या बताएं.
Maximum city in maximum mess. The Chief Minister says stay indoors instead of ensuring that the civic authorities do their jobs. What's the situation right now in Mumbai as Mumbaikars head home after a day-long work? Arithro Hazra is joining us live from Lower Parel. Arithro, you were there in Lower Parel earlier in the day. Has the situation become better in terms of drainage system? Has the water been drained out?
Not at all, Marya. I'll just ask my camera person to show you what the condition of the road is right now. It's just getting worse with each passing hour. Even after the high tides, you can just clearly see people are just trying to make their way through these water, and they are just trying to go to some place, to some shelter. Messages are making rounds on all the WhatsApp groups that if anyone needs any shelter, they can come to their residence and they can stay there. And also, like what we have learned from our sources in the BMC is that this particular drainage system was made way back in 1860, and it was made for just 25 millimeter of water. It can sustain only that much amount of rainfall. After that, all the BMC has been claiming that work has been done. But this clearly shows that not a lot of work, not much of work has been done on it. I have with me two office goers with me. This particular gentleman works here at State Bank of India in Prabhadevi. He stays in Borivali but cannot go back home. I'll quickly go to him and get his reaction on this whole issue. Sir, किधर रहते हैं आप? क्या मतलब अभी फंस गए आप यहाँ पे लोअर परेल में? अभी आप जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, प्रभादेवी से आ रहे, क्या हुआ क्या अभी?
एक्चुअली मैं बोरीवली जाने के, मेरा रेजिडेंस बोरीवली में है, लेकिन मैं जाने के लिए दादर स्टेशन तक गया. एलिफेंस्टन स्टेशन पे तो ऊपर तक पानी आ चुका है,
प्लेटफॉर्म से ऊपर
पानी आ चुका है. और बिल्कुल यहाँ बीएमसी का तो खैर कोई रोल ही नहीं लग रहा है कि वो कहीं पे कोई भी नजर नहीं आ रहा है, और बहुत ही स्थिति खराब है. और कल सुबह फिर वापस ऑफिस आना है, कैसे आएंगे इसका भी कोई पता नहीं है.
तो अभी आपने कुछ सोचा है कहाँ जाएंगे आप?
अभी हमारे एक फ्रेंड है, यहाँ से करीब 6 किलोमीटर दूरी पे उनका रेजिडेंस है, वहाँ तक वॉक करके जाऊँगा किसी तरह से. अगर पहुँच पाया तो कल सुबह फिर वापस ऑफिस आना पड़ेगा.
तो ऑफिस में कुछ छुट्टी का बोला है आपको कि कल ऑफिस बंद रहेगा या ऐसे कुछ?
नहीं, कोई छुट्टी नहीं है. ड्यूटी तो ड्यूटी है, करना ही पड़ेगा.
So, this is the reaction which we are getting from the office goers who are trying to make their way through these water, and then they're also trying to get some shelter. Now, this particular gentleman is going to his friend's house who stays here in Lower Parel. But yeah, 6 kilometers he had to walk. He went to the platform. He's saying the water is touching the knee level. But remember, Education Minister Vinod Tavade, he has made this announcement that all the schools will be shut tomorrow. So that is some relief for the parents. And now we need to see what more action will be taken by the state government and also by the civic authorities there.
Arithro, a quick word on the fact that, it has been raining for the last 4 days in Mumbai. What is the prediction for tomorrow and day after? I believe the weathermen have no good news. They say that it will continue to rain. Also, if you could get us some more visuals that you were showing us earlier on this broadcast as you talk about, what the weather prediction is.
Certainly, I'll again ask my camera person to get you the visual. Just look at these roads. This car is hardly making its way through this waterlogged road. And to tell you about what the IMD officials have been predicting, I was just speaking to a senior IMD official, and according to their prediction and according to their apparatus which they have been using in the IMD headquarters in Pune, it will rain heavily for the next 24 hours. To 48 hours, and in some pockets of South Konkan region in which Mumbai also falls, it will rain extremely in an extremely heavy manner. This is what officials are telling us, which is the reason why schools have been ordered to be shut by Vinod Tavade, who is the education minister. And also, as you can see now, people who have their own conveyance, people who have their own vehicle, they can at least try to go back home. Other than that, all the railway lines, be it Western Railway, be it Central Railway Line or the Harbour Railway Line, all the railway lines are shut and even the cabs are not working. So this is the ground reality which we are reporting from Mumbai right now.
Arithro Hazra, stay safe. I hope you get back home on time. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Now, Maharashtra's Chief Minister, Devendra Fadnavis, had no answers to the city's infrastructure that gets washed away with every shower. But he did pull off a photo opportunity today. He landed up at a helpline center and took calls from stranded callers. All this as the cameras rolled. Take a look.
Hello. त्यांना द्या फोन हॅलो कोण आहे तिथे आता कंट्रोल रूमला हॅलो त्यांना द्या फोन हॅलो कोण आहे तिथे आता कंट्रोल रूमला Hello. त्यांना द्या फोन हॅलो कोण आहे तिथे आता कंट्रोल रूमला हॅलो
Devendra Fadnavis also spoke to my colleague Vinaya, and he in fact warned Mumbaikars to stay indoors, urging them to not venture out as most local trains were non-functional because of the high tides.
All across Mumbai, they're stranded at various places. What is your appeal to people of Mumbai as the Chief Minister?
First of all, they should not step out of homes unless there's a dire necessity. Those who are in offices, I have advised them that they should follow our traffic advisories so that they don't get stranded on the roads. Having said that, as of now, all the 3 disaster management control rooms are working 24/7. In fact, if they follow our advisories, I think although they will face certain hardship because of the slow movement of traffic, but they will be quite safe. The trains are as of now stuck because of the rains.
We also knew that there was a heavy rainfall forecast for Mumbai for the next 24 to 48 hours, and still the authorities could not issue any advisories since morning asking people to stay at home, and that's why we saw that thousands of people remained stranded.
It's unprecedented rains which the city has received,
and now we are looking at close what ultimately what all advisories we get from the weather departments, we try to disseminate them to the people. So it's not the case that the authorities were, sitting unplanned. Everything was there, and that is why we are being able to help the people.
You know, before I go to Vishal Malhotra, there's a message that we need to put out. This is a message that Riddhi Khetani from Mumbai has put out, and she wants all of you to listen to this because this is important. She's saying, Jahan Mehul Shah from Jamnabai, Narsi, 7B is with me. This is a little kid. My number is, and we are just going to flash that number on our screens as well, 9819781010. His mom's name is Reena Shah. Someone please post this message on groups and parents. I can't get through to her. He was walking alone on the road and was lost. We have brought him home. So this is a message that has been put out by Riddhi Khetani. We've put out the number for you. If you can contact Jahan Mehul, please tell her that her son is safe. There are many people like Riddhi who have opened up their homes for people who have been stranded in Mumbai. Vishal Malhotra is an actor. He is joining me on the phone line. He's a citizen of Mumbai. Vishal, thank you very much for calling in. Quick question to you. You know, this is Mumbai is India's financial capital. Every time it rains, the infrastructure crumbles. Shouldn't you be demanding a little more from your governments and municipalities? As citizens of the city, hi.
Hi, thank you for having me today. Firstly, I hope and I pray that all my co-citizens of Maharashtra and Mumbai are very safe. And I hope there's no major damage to, most importantly, life and property at all today. Just to answer your question very quickly, you know, this seems like a very weird Twilight Zone. It's like a movie Groundhog Day, which I don't know if everybody has seen, but the basic theme of the film was that you keep reliving a moment again and again. It happens every year, and we just leave it up to the gods to say, please don't make it rain too much, so that we don't get inconvenienced or worse, get hurt in any way. So I'm going to stop blaming any authorities. I'm not going to blame anybody. I'm going to reach out through your channel and request everybody listening to this show right now. It's high time we take our responsibility and our well-being in our own hands. Because if we start doing it and we raise the quality of our own lives, I don't think any other authority or any other organization, whether political or otherwise.
But Vishal, citizens of a city cannot build infrastructure. You choose governments to do that.
But, you know, I share your frustration. Please understand that I share your frustration so much. But I'm so frustrated that I cannot wait for authorities to do things for me and keep taking the brunt of it every year. So it's high time that I turn around and make my own little bit of infrastructure and safeguard myself and my family and my neighbors and my surroundings. It's like a community watch. But as we say this, I also want to absolutely commend and compliment the Mumbai police, who directly, it's not their first job to become the first source to reach out to when it rains and it deluges like this. But what do we do? Now I'm sorry, but I'm questioning everybody. It's been years after years after year. I myself get stuck every year, coming back from my shoot and heading back. I have friends, I have family who stuck for 4 hours. But how much can we get frustrated and keep blaming the authorities who seem to have a deaf ear towards everything? Let's take matters in our own hands. Because if we want things to improve, we have to start with us.
Take charge. Vishal Malhotra, thanks so much for joining us, a citizen of Mumbai, sharing his agony and pain, clearly at a time when Mumbai, the maximum city, is in a state of maximum
And there's another flash that Oritra Hazra, our colleague, is sending us. Let me just put that out before we slip into a quick break. The Navi Mumbai area, the police actually has requested all malls in that area to open up their doors to stranded people, which means that possibly if there's nowhere to go, these people will be staying at the mall overnight. At least that's a request that the police in Navi Mumbai has made.
We are slipping into a short break. Coming up, here's how a wife is teaching her husband don't smoke. Slipping into a short break. Stay with us. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health. We all know that. While there are warnings also on cigarette packets, but does it really stop the smokers, Shreya?
Well, I can tell you it doesn't. So a wife in China decided to teach her husband a lesson and she scared the hell out of him. Take a look.
Irritated by her husband's smoking, a woman in China decided to teach him a lesson. She attached a pack of cigarettes to the back of a hairdryer, lit them up and then blasted him with cigarette smoke. The gust of thick smoke blasts into her husband's face as the dryer is kept just a feet away from him. The husband can be seen leaping out of bed in shock. Cigarette smoking is clearly injurious to health.
And she had the presence of mind to film all of it. A video that has now gone viral, much to her husband's embarrassment,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes, and with that we have come to the end of this edition of Epicentre. Shreya and I will be back with you tomorrow. Arunodaya Mukherjee is joining you next, and thanks so much for watching.
Good night.
अगर बंदे के ऊपर वाले हिस्से को ऊपरी मंजिल कहते फर्स्ट मंजिल और ये वाली अगर होती मतलब अंडरग्राउंड तो कैसा लगता है?
Will Papa's Angel become MSG Part 2? Gurmeet's constant companion, now poised to take over the Dera Sacha Sauda. It's a relationship that has shocked the nation.
मई 2011 में एक दिन मैंने बाबा जी की गुफा में रह रहा था तो मैंने उनका दरवाजा गलती से खुला रह गया और मैंने चेक करा वो दोनों न्यूड थे और सेक्स कर रहे थे.
Is Hanipreet the proxy for Gurmeet now? On Viewpoint tonight at 9:55.